Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at what the Cardano price is doing, also what Bitcoin is doing, and we can see here very nicely on CoinMarketCap how everything is in the green. We can see that all the cryptos are performing quite well. Everything's following Bitcoin at the moment. There are a lot of people talking about the correction is over now, but is that really the case? We're going to take a look at that question in this video. We start with Bitcoin very briefly here on the daily. We are on the Coinbase chart. We can see that we're trading between that support zone down here, which is between 39,500 and 41,000. And we are trading between the resistance, which starts at 48K and should finish at 48,800. So that is what we're currently trading in. We had a recovery here yesterday, bounced and broke through that descending trend line. We identified that breakout formation. My guess yesterday was we break again once more down to the downside, but I did say in the short term, this is all noise. We want to identify trend shifts here, and has a trend shift happened already? Not yet, because we haven't broken above the 48,800 level, which is that former high. And we came down in an A, B, C correction here, which is based on the Elliott Wave method, the simplest pattern of a corrective move. A new high, B, and a lower low, C. But is that C correction finished already, or do we come down once more and will then finish the C correction? Well, I can't tell you that yet. To do that, we would need to break above 48,800 and have a closing candle above the 48,800. That hasn't happened yet. I did say yesterday I will change my mind if the daily candle closes above 48,800. But yesterday we only got to 48,250, and now we are retracing again, only a little bit, to be honest. So there is only a small retracement. So a lot of indicators now can tell us that yes, potentially we are just retracing at the moment from that big pump yesterday, and we'll continue our move to the upside. And then I don't have a problem with saying that corrective move is over, because in that corrective move the target levels based on the Elliott Wave method were already reached. Also with Cardano, I did say that few times, but we didn't see the indicators changing. We didn't see the indicators telling us that the trend change will happen. And as long as that is not happening, we have to assume that we continue our way to the downside. And that's just very objectively with taking all the emotions out. Now at the moment, yes, we can see a small retracement. We bounced off that 48,250 level. Basically we bounced out of that resistance zone. So it will be a very, very interesting weekend. If we don't manage to break above the 48,800, I did say that before, then we come down once more, possibly even lower than we did before, to finish the C correction. Where are we in terms of the indicators on the daily here? First of all, the volume has gone up a little bit. That is nice. So we have around twice the volume that we had a couple of days ago. It's a little bit above the average as well. Last time we had that volume, we look at the beginning of August, and in the beginning of August we had some nice moves to the upside. So that is certainly very nice. A lot of people are already talking about trend change and getting bullish again, but it's a bit too early. Objectively, it's just a bit too early. Yes, we are all we all love Bitcoin and Cardano and so on, but look at what happened back here in May. We also came down in that huge correction, had a bit of up and down, bit of a roller coaster ride, and then marked even a higher high, right? And after that correction here, we haven't even seen that higher high yet. So there was even a higher high, and after that higher high, we actually dropped once more. Now you could say that was that. We need to see, right? I just want to make you aware that just because we see a new high here, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to push to the upside. Yeah, just because we see that it is still a lower high at the moment. It's still a lower high at the moment, because we had that 48,800 on the 18th of September, and now it's still another lower high. So just be aware of that. We are above the 50 range on the daily, on the RSI, which is now getting positive, right? We're now in the bullish range. We also marked a MACD bullish crossover here yesterday. Haven't crossed the zero line yet, but it's looking like we are going to do that soon. And also on the ADX, we've seen a bullish cross, and we are in an uptrend again on the daily ADX. So more and more indicators are telling us, yes, we could continue our way to the upside. And in that case, we need to watch the 48,800, at which point I will say, right, that bearish scenario could now be over, and we are continuing our way to the upside. For me, it's always important not to just speculate right? At least in my trading portfolio. I did mention it before, can be a bit confusing, but I've got two portfolios. I have my trading portfolio in which I do trades, but not necessarily day trades, also longer term trades. In that portfolio, I don't want to just buy in blindly. I only want to buy in when the indicators are telling me that we are continuing our way in a certain direction, and when I'm confident based on what I see in the charts is telling me that we can change, that we change our direction, or that we continue an uptrend or so, because everything else will be speculation, right? Then I've got my dollar cost averaging really long-term holding portfolio that I really don't want to touch, and I don't even know when I will touch it. Here I just buy once a week to keep the emotion completely out. Okay, so there's two different strategies I'm following, and that's just worked very well for me. So that's why, even yesterday I talked about investing down here would be like catching a falling knife. But if you do dollar cost, in my dollar cost averaging portfolio, I bought all the way down here as well, on a weekly basis. But in my trading portfolio, I wouldn't buy until we've completed that correction, because I don't want to buy into a downtrend. I want to buy into an uptrend. That's just my personal strategy. I'm a trend following trader. There are different strategies, and you can apply it to different time frames. And I don't trade on the hourly chart, for example, which would be like day trading or so, or lower time frames. I tend to use the daily, but then of course go into lower time frames to time my trades when we see things changing. Now let's talk about Cardano. Cardano still trading, actually not performing as well as Bitcoin. If you take a look at the Bitcoin chart here, you can see that we are already nearly at this top of the B correction here, nearly at 48,800, but Cardano, unfortunately, for whatever reason, is only down here. So if you applied it to, wanted to have something similar like on the Bitcoin chart, you would have to assume that we'd be somewhere up here at 270 or so, or at least here where the closing candle was at 265, we should be somewhere at 250 at the moment, or 255, and we are not. And to be honest, I can't tell you why. It's just not the interest there of the buyers. I just have to add the volume here. Let's take a look if we have volume, but I'm sure this will come. It's the calm before the storm. And we can't see that higher volume with Bitcoin. I don't know why. It's just what it is. We've got maybe a different resistance line sitting here, which keeps it back a little bit. So as you can see here on the chart, got various touch points here of that descending trend line here, within which we are still trading. We haven't broken that actually. If you use the wicks, so we could, and I did say it yesterday, we could also lower it down to the bodies. It's just another way of doing it, and then based on that you could assume that we've already broken it. Then I would need to shift it a little bit, but then it's just another way of doing it. So if I shift that, then we're touching the bodies, have a lot of touch points up here, have another touch point here, and broke that, and are currently possibly retesting it. But overall, it doesn't really matter, because we can still see that here with Cardano also we are clearly continuing in a downtrend. We haven't even got above that previous high here, which was at the wick was at 245. You might remember that pump, and the daily close was here at 233 somewhere, 234. So that is a zone here through which we need to come, quite a powerful one. So we're currently sitting there. It's just the structure of the chart is a little bit different than Bitcoin at the moment. And yeah, we are also here in that range between $2 and $3. We found quite a lot of support there. Between, I would say down here actually, when you see the candle closing, between 198 and $2.03, found a lot of support there. Briefly we managed to get down to 190. But as long as we are only making lower highs here as well, I remain shorter term bearish. I really need to see more to see that trend changing. Now, what could be happening here on the daily, we are currently still in the bearish range here on the RSI. If we break that to the upside and also have that MACD bullish crossover, then, things could change a little bit. Sentiment could change. We could push once more to the upside. That's just, again, a roller coaster ride that we can see here on the weekend. But also the ADX is still showing us that we are in a downtrend here. Very different to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is showing us here that on the ADX, we're actually in an uptrend again. So, oops, no, I just moved that. So it remains very, very interesting on the weekend. So with Bitcoin, I just mentioned the levels to you that I need to see to change my mind, you know, that we continue our way to the upside. With Cardano, I think I would really need, if we assume that was the A wave down here, that's the B up here, the C will be somewhere down here. Maybe we've seen the C already. You remember I talked about it in previous videos that we hit the target zone already, but we didn't see, and we still don't see, those indicators shift. Ideally, you want to see, ideally, in a good correction, you want to come down into that target zone, which is normally where that golden pocket lies, the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, which is currently sitting here at 181. You want to come down to that level, and then you want to see the momentum change. You want to see maybe a bullish divergence on the RSI. You know, you want to see the indicators change as well. Then you want to see the volume, and that is when you start to see that trend changing. But at the moment, we're up here somewhere, but we don't see that momentum change. You don't see it on the indicators yet with Cardano, but we've hit the target level already. So it could be that we've hit it. You know, I gave you that target zone when we were up here at the B correction somewhere before we broke to the downside. We hit it, but the only thing, I still remain a bit bearish in the very short term on all the cryptos, or on most cryptos, is because we haven't seen we need to see that new high above here, Cardano 265. That's when that candle closed, when we had the B correction on the 11th of September. When we finished that B wave, that we need to get above that level. And that is, again, for me in my trading portfolio, when I would say, right, I can do something extraordinary, I will buy much more. Want to see that candle closing, but also the indicators, some other things need to tell me that we continue our way to the upside. Until then, it would just be a lower high, and we could come down once more, again, objectively. And you know, I can talk about what I want on this channel, which would be the simple thing, right? That's what most people do. When prices go up, they all become bullish again. When prices go down, they sometimes don't say anything. They become silent, you know, and then they talk about, and they publish videos again when prices go up. But on this channel, I try to be consistent. I have to remain objective, you know, and I have to talk about what I see in the charts, right? To help you understand how the charts work, and so you can come to your own conclusions. And again, I could be totally wrong in what I tell you here, but then you should not only rely on one person telling you something anyway. You need to use different sources of information and then come to your own conclusions. Alright, so hopefully that video was useful. If you liked it, please smash the like button. And if you want to follow me on this crypto journey, then please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.